Hello, my friends. Welcome to Miss DeBoer Reads. We're continuing today with Love That Dog. We are on part 6, and I can't wait to get into it. Are you following along with Jack and his inspiration by other poets? I don't know about you, but I feel like writing poetry when I read those. Today, we're going to review those poems that Jack is so inspired by, and then find out more about Jack and his yellow dog that he loves. Come join me. Digging back in to Love That Dog, we're on part 6 today. And do you remember at the beginning, there's Jack in Miss Stretchberry's room, room 105, and he was a very reluctant poet. And he really has become a writer. Are you noticing? These changes from here in September 13 have happened over time. So we're going to revisit kind of what he experienced over months. We're way up. We're in like February, I think. So let's see what happened from September until now. In the beginning, he heard a poem called The Red Wheelbarrow. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. Yeah, I've memorized it. You can too. It's such a quick and easy one. So that's how he begins, and he's like, I'm so confused. And then he heard the tiger, tiger, burning bright, right? And that one was an inspiration to help him write blue car, blue car. And then there was poems by Robert Frost, like this one, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, where there were miles to go before I sleep. It means there's lots to do before your time is up. And then The Pasture, where he was really noticing those cows. Even though it was confusing, he was like, you come too, right? Oh, so good. And then he really was digging Valerie Worth's poems. Those were those small poems called Dog. I want to show you what I've got. I have her book, as a matter of fact. All the small poems and 14 more. Here's that one titled Dog. It gives a great description of this dog. And Jack thinks, I could write like my dog, write about my dog like that. There's so many little poems in here. I hope you're inspired to write about just something really simple. Yeah. Then, in part 3, after writing about dog, he's excited because they rescue a dog, right? And he reads on. There were poems about street music, and then he wrote about his street. There was the apple poem, In That Shape, by S.C. Rigg. And then he thought, I could do that. And so he made a poem about his yellow dog. So cool. Those shape poems are neat. And then last time we were together, boy, oh boy, he was like, I read the best poem. Love That Boy by Walter Dean Myers. I want to tell you, I so fell in love with that poem that I bought a Walter Dean Myers book. It's called Brown Angels. It's an album of pictures and verse by Walter Dean Myers. And sure enough, on this page, here's Love That Boy. I'm going to read that same first stanza, just like we heard in the book. Love that boy. Love that boy like a rabbit loves to run. I said I love that boy like a rabbit loves to run. Love to call him in the morning. Love to call him, hey there, son. And Jack was saying his dad sometimes calls him like that. We've met other characters through Jack's story. So we've gone through October, November, January, February. Oh, I see, I wasn't even right. We're further. We're into March. Today, I'm going to begin on page 46, right after Jack wrote his poem and was so inspired. His name was Sky. Hey there, Sky. That's what he'd call his dog. Hey there, Sky. Yeah. here we are, March. March 22. My yellow dog followed me everywhere. Every which way I turned, he was there, wagging his tail and slobber coming out of his mouth when he was smiling at me all the time, as if he was saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you for choosing me." Oh, my friends, I need to go back to that part. Do you remember in part 3 when he first got his dog? Right here. And they chose him. And in the car, he put his head against my chest and wrapped his paws around my arm as if he were saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Notice how the words are all kind of squished together. Like you can imagine the dog saying that. He's so glad to have a home. Oh, Jack, this is so good. Thank you, thank you, thank you for choosing me and jumping up on me. His shaggy, straggly paws on my chest, like he was trying to hug the insides right out of me. And when us kids were playing outside, kicking the ball, he'd chase after it and push it with his nose, push, 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 and getting slobber all over the ball. But no one cared because he was such a funny dog, that dog Sky, that straggly, furry, smiling dog Sky. Repeating words. This is great. And I'd call him every morning, every evening. "Hey there, Sky." March 27. Yes, you can type up what I wrote about my dog Sky. Oh yeah, who's he talking to? I'm keeping track. Jack's talking to his teacher, Miss Stretchberry. She wants to type up another one of his poems. But don't type up that other secret one I wrote. The one all folded up in the envelope with tape on it. That one uses too many of Walter Dean Myers's words. And maybe Mr. Walter Dean Myers would get mad about that. So he's concerned because he is so loving Walter Dean Myers' poems and using his fashion and the way that he writes to write similarly. And he's wondering, is that okay? Did I use too many of Walter Dean Myers' words? Maybe I shouldn't have that one typed up. Let's see what Miss Stretchberry says about that. April 4. I was very glad to hear that Mr. Walter Dean Myers is not the sort of person who would get mad at a boy for using some of his words. Yeah, many poets are feeling complimented if you write in their likeness. And thank you for typing up my secret poem, the one that uses so many of Mr. Walter Dean Myers' words. And I like what you put at the top, inspired by Walter Dean Myers. This gives a qualifier to the words that Jack wrote, saying, I was inspired by someone else to write this way. How cool is that? That sounds good to my ears. Now no one will think I just copied because I couldn't think of my own words. They will know I was inspired by Mr. Walter Dean Myers. But don't put it on the board yet, okay? Is Mr. Walter Dean Myers a live person? Isn't that a great question, right? And if he is, do you think he could ever come to our city, to our school, to our class? And if he did, we should hide my poem with his words. Hide it real good, just in case he would get mad about that. April 9. No. I can't do it. You should do it. You're a teacher. Okay, so what do you think Jack's teacher is asking him to do that he's saying, no, I can't do it. You should do it. Oh, I bet it's related to this. He didn't really want his poem shared. Maybe she's telling him, let's ask Walter Dean Myers if he would mind. How might he inquire that of Walter Dean Myers? April 12. I don't agree that Mr. Walter Dean Myers might like to hear from a boy who likes his poems. I think Mr. Walter Dean Myers would like to hear from a teacher who uses big words and knows how to spell and to type. Yeah, Mrs. Stretchberry asked Jack to maybe write a letter to him. Write a letter to Walter Dean Myers and ask him, and share your poem that's inspired by him. And Jack is nervous. He doesn't think it's a good idea. However, as I sneak peek ahead to tomorrow, I can see, dear Mr. Walter Dean Myers. Tomorrow we're going to find out what's in that letter and what Jack asks Mr. Walter Dean Myers.